Hey guys, it's Sarah here from Miss Adventure Pants with your weekly live chat. We'll start in about a minute. How's everyone doing? You can use the comments to let me know. It's always hard when we do this on Tuesday because I want to know what you're up to this weekend, but I don't even know what I'm up to this weekend. Maybe you do. If you do, let me know. Otherwise, I hope your week's going well. Tuesday always just feels very far from the weekend for me. And yeah, my computer says it's 7 o'clock, so let's dive right into the topic for this week's live chat, and that is how to get your significant other into hiking, or at least that's what I put on the Facebook announcement. We'll talk about ways to get your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife into hiking, but these also work for kids, they work for parents, a lot of these tips work for friends, for coworkers. It's, really the same thing anytime you're trying to get someone to fall in love with the thing you love and do it with you. So let's talk about how you do that. So first of all, these tips are really for someone who's maybe a little bit lukewarm about going hiking. Maybe they've not done it before, maybe they did it and had a bad experience, and you're just not sure if you're going to get them to be able to do it or like it, and you're wondering how to go about it. And I feel like this is an issue that comes up a lot. Like, we all want the people we love to love the things we want. And of course, unfortunately, that's just not guaranteed in life that's going to happen. But I really think we can, introduce them to it in a way that makes it more likely that they're going to like it and want to do it with us again. And, not be like super hard on our relationship by, causing fights or causing tension by going about it the wrong way. So what do you do to get your partner or kid or, other special person into hiking? Well, my first tip is when you bring up the idea, it's really important to be positive, enthusiastic. This would be something really awesome we could do together. But at the same time, you don't want to oversell it. It's really hard because maybe it's something we really want for them to do it with us. But at the same time, if we're too eager, I think it creates pressure sometimes. And, kind of use your empathy and think about what it's like to be on the receiving end of, somebody that you care about really, really wants you to do this thing and you're not sure you're going to like it. Or you think maybe you're going to make a fool out of yourself when you do it. So, overselling it just creates a lot of pressure, and they may worry about letting you down. So be enthusiastic, but don't push too hard. Let them kind of come to the idea and make the choice on their own. I think that's really important. Step 2, I think the hike you choose for the first one you try together really matters. So some tips for picking that. It should be something that's on the easy side. You want them to, feel like they can build confidence. This is something that they can do. It's something that's fun. It's not a sufferfest where they're laying on the ground afterwards, just exhausted. It's something fun that you guys can do together. Second tip for that would be to choose somewhere really beautiful. Give them a lot of bang for their buck. Hikes like Emerald Lake up at Rocky Mountain National Park, or Herman Lake if you're in the Denver area. They're short hikes, they're less than 5 miles round trip, they don't have a lot of elevation gain, but man, they're super beautiful. It's a great way for someone to really fall in love with the outdoors. And the third one, and my third tip there, is to keep it short. It's always better to leave them wanting more than exhaust them. And also, if it's something that it's just not super comfortable for them or they're not enjoying it, a short hike doesn't prolong the agony. It's over in a few hours, and then you guys can go eat and drink beer and, move on to the next thing. Hey Judy, how you doing? So tip number 3, getting your significant other into hiking. I think it's really important to involve them in the planning, make them feel like they have some power in the process, and you're not just like dragging them into this hiking thing, whether they want to or not. So some things you can do, give them a choice about which hike you're going to do. Don't overwhelm them with choices. I think a good idea is to pick out maybe 2 or 3 hikes you think would just be great and just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Do which one of these looks good to you. You can show them how to research on the internet or give them a guidebook to read so that they can kind of make up their own mind and talk to you about it. And oh, it's so true, right? Have you had this problem too? We have to talk, Judy. She says, getting significant others to do anything you're into is hard. That's awesome. No, but so give them 2 or 3 choices and have them, involve them in the planning. Let them do the actual picking. Tip number 4. As you're getting ready for the hike, the day's getting close, definitely help them get ready, answer their questions, but be careful not to micromanage. I know me, I'm so excited if my boyfriend's going hiking with me for the first time. I want to tell them everything I know about it, and they're probably holy crap, get away from me, woman. So overwhelming. I'm shooting them with information from a fire hose. So kind of a better way to go about it, check for the basics. Do they have appropriate shoes that, aren't gonna rip their feet apart? If you're going in the cold, do they have warm clothes? And let them kind of pack what they want. Just, double check that they have water, snacks, hat and gloves if it's going to be cold, sunscreen. The absolute things you can't live without because, you'll have everything else you need in your pack and it's a short hike. It's fine for them to keep their pack light, kind of let them make some choices on the first one, I think. And I also think if there's anything they need for their very first hike that they don't have, it's better to borrow or thrift it. So you don't need to make a big gear investment. That's just a ton of pressure if you're we gotta go out and buy you a Arc'teryx jacket to go on this little hike that you might not like anyway. Keep it sweet, keep it simple, keep it cheap. Tip number 5, this is one I really like. Pack a few little luxuries. I think when you're hiking with your significant other, it's really, kind of cool, and you want to treat it like a celebration or like a special date. So pack some Lindt chocolate, fancy cheese, hot cider if it's cold. You can pack wine, put it in an Nalgene bottle. Whatever you think they would really like that you guys can kind of celebrate and enjoy on the trail. And one thing that's kind of cool to do if they're a big social media person, if they're a big social media person, definitely document the experience for them so that they have pictures to share. Bring a nice camera, bring your GoPro, whatever your kind of weapon of choices for that sort of thing. Tip number 6 is if you're out on the trail and you're hiking with them, give lots of positive encouragement. I really think in this situation, they're doing something kind of for you that maybe not really their thing. So the fact that they're there in the first place is awesome. And you just really want to affirm that and be happy that they're there. Just acknowledge the fact that it's great that they're giving it a try. And they may be worried. They may be worried that they're bad at it, that they're too slow, that they're taking too many breaks. So if they're the kind of person that likes encouragement, yeah, this is awesome. You got this. You're killing it. Just really, I don't think you can really overdo that for most people. Another tip is to really enjoy yourself. You don't want to be totally focused on the other person the whole time, even though you're so excited that they're there. That probably feels kind of weird to them. So, do some things that you enjoy. Take pics, check things out, be curious, play. And let that other person kind of have some space to just sort of enjoy the experience on their own without you being in it all the time. I think that's really how people fall in love with the outdoors and hiking. They need a little bit of space. If they want to stop, that is totally allowed. I think if they're the kind of person that sometimes just needs a little nudge and they do things that will really excite them, you can try that, but I would never make a big, if they want to stop, I would never make a big fuss. Don't act as if, I say I would never, but, there's probably someone watching this that is oh, I have seen you do that. I have been on the receiving end. But, when I did it, it obviously didn't go well. It was, just not what that person needed. And did not make them want to keep hiking with me again and again in the future. So, yeah, definitely, if they want to turn around, that's totally cool. This was awesome. It's all about the journey. Yay. It's so great you came out. I'm awesome. I'm proud of you, honey. Um, yeah, so I think that's really the way to approach it. And then no matter what, celebrate. You know, go out to eat afterwards, make a toast. They tried something new. It was your first hike together. Be thankful and be proud for whatever it is they did. And even if, and also keep in mind, like for them, sometimes the small things may be huge. I think a good example, I took my mom snowshoeing when she was here, and we went to Rocky Mountain National Park, and she literally snowshoed, I think, for like 30 minutes, and we got to this tiny little lake. We were going to a bigger lake, and by the time we got there, she was cold, she was tired, she had never snowshoed before, and this tiny little lake, I was like, oh, it's that lake, and it's not a big deal. It was like she made it to Mount Everest to her. Like, she was so happy, and it was so beautiful, and you know, she got on Facebook and told her friends, I snowshoed to this lake, here's the picture of me. So, I mean, like, it's actually kind of fun, right? It's kind of cute. Like, it kind of reopens your eyes to the wonder of the whole thing, because I'm like, I know that lake is actually really pretty. Even though I knew we were going to a much prettier lake, I'm like, you know, it's awesome. If she thinks it's awesome, I think it's awesome. So yeah, so those are tips really on getting your significant other to, or whoever, your kids, your parents, to hike with you, to get them into hiking, to, you know, create the conditions where maybe they'll want to start trying it with you. And I think if you do these things, even if their first one isn't a success, if you just go at it really positive, no pressure, you know, maybe they'll want to try again. And, you know, even if they don't, that's okay. But you know, they'll never want to if you make it a BFD and just really, you know, beat them over the head with it, or, you know, make them feel bad in any way. So positive, enthusiastic, everything they do is awesome. It's awesome that they're trying something for you. I really think that's the way to go about it. So, any questions before we wrap up? You can enter in the comments. Yeah, so I've actually tried these. I say, you know, I actually have a degree in counseling, so some of the, oh, thanks, GD. Some of the the tips that I'm using come directly from that, but I've got to say, like, this is not at all easy to do either. When I've tried to put this into practice in real life, I'm just like, oh, I know you can do this, like, do better, or try harder. It is hard to be positive and really, you know, walk the walk. So even though I'm saying this, this is all of everything I've learned from doing things wrong, basically. Okay, well, seeing no questions, hey, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Judy, it's so good to see you. I hope things are well in Cleveland. I love your photography, so keep it coming. Seems like things are going well. And yeah, I will see you next week. I'm not sure if it'll be Tuesday or Thursday, but I'll put it on Facebook. Okay, bye.